Hello everyone, my name is Brooke. Today, I want to share a very special memory with you. The story of my very first day at university. It was a day filled with excitement, nervousness, and so many new experiences. That morning, I woke up earlier than usual. The sun was shining through my window, and my heart was racing. I thought to myself, Brooke, this is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. I put on my favorite outfit, carried my backpack, and looked in the mirror. One last time before leaving home. My parents were just as excited as I was. They wished me luck, and I stepped outside with a smile. When I finally reached the university, I stood in front of the giant building. It was so beautiful, with tall pillars and wide stairs. Students were walking everywhere. Some looked confident, others looked just as nervous as me. At that moment, I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, "You can do this. This is your new journey." With my heart still racing, I slowly walked up the wide stairs of the university. Every step felt like I was entering a whole new world. The building was even more beautiful inside. Tall ceilings, shining floors, and colorful notice boards full of announcements. I looked around and saw students chatting, laughing, and finding their classrooms. Everyone seemed so busy, yet so excited. For a moment, I felt a little shy. I thought, will I make new friends? Will I be able to speak confidently? As I was standing there, a friendly-looking girl smiled at me and said, "Hi, are you also new here?" I smiled back nervously and answered, "Yes, it's my first day." Her smile made me feel a little more comfortable. She introduced herself, and then we walked together toward our classroom. Along the way, we shared small conversations about where we were from, what subjects we liked, and how nervous we both were. When we entered the classroom, the professor wasn't there yet. The room was filled with other students finding seats, opening notebooks, and chatting in groups. I took a deep breath and told myself, "Brooke, just be yourself. This is the beginning of something good." I sat down next to my new friend, and slowly, I started to feel a little more at home. The classroom slowly filled up, and soon the professor walked in. She was kind-looking, with a welcoming smile that immediately put everyone at ease. "Good morning, everyone," she said warmly. "Welcome to your first day. Let's get to know each other a little before we dive into our subjects." We all introduced ourselves, sharing our names and where we were from. I felt my nerves melt away a little as I heard everyone's stories. Some came from nearby towns, while others traveled far to be here. Then came the first mini lecture. The professor explained the course in a way that was clear and engaging. I scribbled down notes, occasionally glancing around the room to see other students equally focused. During a short break, my new friend nudged me. "Want to grab a coffee at the campus cafe?" she asked. I hesitated for a second but smiled. "Sure, I'd love that." As we walked to the cafe, we talked more about our hobbies, favorite movies, and hopes for university life. I realized that everyone here was just as curious and eager to start. My nervousness slowly transformed into excitement. By the end of the first class, I felt a little more confident. I had learned something new and had also started to form connections. For the first time that day, I thought, maybe this will be an amazing journey after all. After the first morning of classes, I decided to head to the campus cafeteria for lunch. The smell of fresh food filled the air, and the room buzzed with conversations and laughter. I felt a little nervous walking in alone, but then I spotted my new friend waving at me. "Come sit with us," she called. I walked over and joined her table, where a few more students had already gathered. They all smiled and welcomed me warmly. It felt amazing to realize that everyone here was so friendly and open. I even discovered someone who loved reading the same books as I did, and another who was passionate about photography, just like me. As we ate, I laughed at funny stories, asked questions about university life, and slowly felt a sense of belonging. For the first time that day, I truly felt like I was part of something bigger. A community where I could learn, grow, and make lasting friendships. By the time lunch ended, I had exchanged social media handles with a few new friends, and made plans to meet up later for a campus tour. Walking back to my next class, I felt a mix of happiness and anticipation. This is going to be an unforgettable journey, I thought. After lunch, I decided to explore more of the campus with my new friends. The university was huge, winding pathways, beautiful gardens, and modern buildings everywhere. Every corner seemed to hold something interesting, from a quiet reading spot under a tree to a buzzing student lounge filled with chatter and laughter. While walking, I realized that finding my next classroom wouldn't be as easy as I thought. I took out the campus map and tried to figure out the route. But soon I noticed that my friends had already walked ahead. Panic bubbled up inside me. What if I get lost? What if I'm late for the next class? Taking a deep breath, I reminded myself to stay calm. I retraced my steps slowly, asking a couple of passing students for directions. Everyone was friendly and helped me find my way. Finally, I arrived at the next classroom, slightly out of breath but smiling. Even though it was a small challenge, I felt proud of myself for handling it. "Brooke, you can do this," I whispered to myself. By the end of the afternoon, I realized that university life was not just about attending lectures. It was about discovering new places, navigating challenges, and learning to trust yourself. Every step I took, even the uncertain ones, felt like a step toward growing up and finding my place in this new world. By the time evening came, I was back in my dorm room, sitting on my bed with my backpack beside me. The room was quiet, and the soft glow of the lamp made everything feel cozy. I took a deep breath and let my thoughts wander over the day. So much had happened, meeting new friends, attending my first lectures, exploring the campus, and even figuring out how to handle little challenges. I realized how nervous I had been in the morning and smiled at myself. I had done it. I had survived my first day and even started to enjoy it. I opened my journal and began writing about my experiences. I wrote down the names of friends I had made, funny moments that made me laugh, and the things I was excited to learn in the coming days. As I wrote, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. Before going to sleep, I looked out the window at the campus lights twinkling in the evening sky. "Brooke, this is just the beginning," I thought. "A new chapter, full of opportunities, adventures, and friendships. And I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings." With that comforting thought, I drifted off to sleep, excited and hopeful for the days ahead. My first day at university had been challenging, inspiring, and unforgettable, a day I would always remember.